watching Keepin' It Green. I'm your host, Debbie Klughers, and today I have with me a few guests from the Quogue Wildlife Refuge. I have Mr. Michael Nelson, the director.
Hello.
Hi, thanks for coming.
Great, thanks for having us today.
And you've brought a few of your friends along.
Yeah, today we brought Hooter and Blink, which is this little screech owl here.
This is Blink, and Hooter we hear hooting off camera.
Yes, you'll hear him.
Wants to come on.
Yes.
And you know that we like to start off the show with an environmental tip or a recycling tip, and today we're going to do an environmental tip. And we were discussing landscaping for wildlife, you know, for people in their own homes, that, you know, what they could do to help wildlife.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I found these tips online, and one of them was to limit the lawn that you have. That don't just grow lawn and keep cutting it, but let things kind of go back to wild, basically.
Let go to wild. There's a lot of areas, animals or birds like a lot of different borders. So rather than just an open lawn, to have broken up into different islands or sections, to give cover for a lot you different animals.
Cover and food.
Exactly.
Things like that. And vertical layering, they want you to, have like different kind of structures and different kind of little nooks and crannies. And you were talking about brush piles.
Brush piles. I know a lot at the refuge. A lot of times when we do trail trimming, we'll create brush piles rather than wood chipping the brush right away. Leave it in a pile, and it's a good haven for for that squirrel that's trying to get away from the hawk, or
I didn't think about that.
Or just a nesting area for for small rodents or mice, field mice, and things like that. So and then birds too. They like to find shelter in that. So we create a bunch of different brush piles throughout the refuge, and also
you could bring in different species into your own yard by giving them a reason to come and be happy there.
Exactly. It's providing shelter and habitat for them, so that would be perfect.
Great. Yeah. And let's see, they said provide water. A little pond could even increase the amphibians, get them going a little bit.
Exactly. A pond, bird bath, even some small, bowl of water, as long as you drain it out so it doesn't become stagnant and breed mosquitoes. Exactly.
Let's see what else. Plant native species and remove exotics.
Oh, that's a big one. It's a constant battle at the Wildlife Refuge. We have 305 acres, and we just recently, a few years back, created a native wildflower garden or butterfly garden to attract the native butterflies in the area. So we used all different types of native wildflowers and planted it in this, this nice little walkway. But to remove the invasives, it's something that's a nonstop battle. That
hence the term invasive.
Invasives, exactly. And one particular, the bittersweet, it's a beautiful plant when it flowers, and it's a good ornamental plant, but it strangles other trees. It'll use the trees as a host and climb up on top and cover over the canopy and suffocate the trees. So we're in a constant battle. We use a lot of different volunteers, and our staff will go out and clip them at the base, and then just start trying to remove them.
And the reason why is because the native species do much better with their own native kind of vegetation. So, it's a twofold kind of reason.
Exactly. If you have too much exotics come in, sometimes they're more aggressive growing, or and they smother out some of the natives, and slowly you get a change to, a non-native forest, whereas, from the native area.
And then the last thing, reduce pesticide use. You not only kill your target organism, but you kill everything,
but
really.
It spreads it all.
And the bioaccumulation in a little guy like this could be not good.
Exactly. Everything's interconnected and related, and killing the the grubs or the the insects will get in the mice that eat those poisoned insects, and then the owl that eats the mice, and it all goes into them, and
not a good thing.
And it'll affect them down the line. So.
Thanks for all these great tips.
Oh, excellent.
And would you like to tell me a little bit about the Quogue Wildlife Refuge and where you guys have come from and where you're going, and
sure.
Today what you're doing?
Excellent. Well, the Quogue Wildlife Refuge, it's actually been around for quite some time. It originally was founded in 1934 by a local group of duck hunters.
There's your little logo.
Exactly, yeah. It's our logo here at Quogue Wildlife Refuge. It's is a group of concerned duck hunters in the severe winters in the 30s were concerned with the black duck population of, and a lot of the ducks were dying off. So they used this, one of the ponds at the refuge, which had some history before then as a heist harvesting facility, to break open the ice and feed the ducks there and they started to breed the ducks there. And their goal was for every one that they took out of the sky, they would release 2.
That's great. Hunters are good conservators of nature.
It's one of the first, they're great conservators of the area. And from there, they won an award for, waterfowl sanctuary. And it has progressed over the years to where it is today, where we do a lot of education and it's a sanctuary for injured wildlife and for people to enjoy the area. Everything is protected. There's no hunting, fishing, picking. It's just a...
And you're open 365 days a year.
Open 365 days a year, sunrise to sunset.
They could visit all the animals.
All the animals. It's free of charge. Folks can come in. We are a nonprofit organization, and we do rely on donations and grants and fundraiser to meet our budget. But we're open 365 days. It's a great time any time of year to come and visit. Summertime, we have, it's just a great time to explore the trails. Winter, we have snowshoes and cross-country skiing
nice.
that we allow folks to take, borrow and rent and use on the trails. Springtime now I think is one of my favorite times to see, the change and everything just starting to grow, and each day, notice something different, and, the native turtles, the baby turtles starting to emerge. And
it's a great family trip. I used to take my kids when they were little there, and you've got all those little bridges over the ponds and in the woods and all kinds of little placards. Are they still there that identify different, like it says, if you look up to your right, you could see a nesting box?
We have some of those still. In fact, that's one of our projects over the years that we've been trying to rework, because some of the things that were, it was a trail guide, a numbered trail guide. Some
and
of
you
the
had a
things
little
over
book
the years.
that you can buy for $1 or something.
Exactly. Yeah, that's something that is in the works to redo.
Good.
But it's a, but we have a lot of different exhibits around the trails, as well as just a chance to see native wildlife, or to see the streams and walk over the pond and the bogs.
Beautiful, photographic opportunities in there. It's really nice.
We get people of in all different types, from the everyday joggers to photographers, coming in first thing in the morning when the lights are just right, or quick visits to see the animals in our distressed wildlife complex, where animals are injured and can't be released to the wild. To people that come in.
What are some of the animals that you have there today?
Well, in the outside facility, which is open every day for folks to see, we have this little screech owl here, which is, his name is Blink. And it's all native animals to New York or, Long Island.
And what's his story?
His story was, he actually came to us from another nature center that lost funding and had to shut down. But before he came to that center, he was hit by a car.
Wow.
And he had some brain damage. And because of the brain damage, he couldn't stand up on his own. He had to be hand-fed. And throughout that time, while the rehabilitation was going on, he became imprinted.
Right, with humans, as he thinks he's a human, or he thinks you're an owl.
Exactly. He associates humans with food, and he knows, they're going to feed me. And if you were to release a wild, if you were to release this owl, he wouldn't either know how to hunt for himself, or he would go up to people to to try to get food. A lot of people would be frightened if an owl landed on their shoulder or showed up on their front porch.
How old is he?
This one has been, we got the owl in 2004 from the other nature center, and I believe he was a few years old when we received him. So he's got to be at least 8 or 9 years old.
Wow. Do they live much longer than that? Or?
They would. In captivity, I'm not too certain on the age of this one in captivity, but some birds like our red-tailed hawk, which is one of them, could live over 30 years in captivity.
Wow.
Or our bald eagle, which was another animal that was shot by somebody.
That you have at the